Hi everyone, welcome to the today's knowledge session, and I'm Sparsh. So today I'm going to present a small session on Cypress. Cypress is basically a test automation tool that we use for majorly for front-end testing. And in this session, I'll try to introduce it to you as simply as possible so that we can have a possible alternative for Selenium in our projects, because Selenium has been there like since forever, right? And Cypress is gaining a lot of traction in the past few years. So let's get started. Yeah, before moving ahead, I'm sure that every one of us know the knowledge etiquettes already, but let me quickly rephrase it again. So please be punctual and do not join the session after a 5-minute threshold. Constructive feedback is always very much appreciated. It helps the presenter to improve for his next session. And keep your devices on silent, and lastly, please keep your windows on mute as well, but feel free to ask anything related to the session at any time. All right, so this will be the agenda for today's session. So firstly, we will have a small introduction to Cypress. Basically, we'll know what it is exactly, and after that we'll go through its architecture, and then comes the installation part along with the test runner and locator strategy that we use in Cypress. And on top of that, I'll introduce you to a rather unique feature of Cypress, which is its dashboard service. And at last, we will compare Cypress over Selenium and vice versa as well, just before the demo. So moving on, introduction to Cypress. So as I mentioned, Cypress is a front-end test automation tool. I mean, basically, the major use of Cypress is for front-end test automation only to test the modern web application. So it is a tool that is written in JavaScript. And if you see the second point in the slide, so this line is from the official documentation only. So, and I quote that fast, easy, and reliable testing for anything that runs on a browser. So the main motive behind the Cypress is to remove the inconsistencies and the flakiness that we generally experience while using some other test automation tools, for example Selenium. And so yeah, we will know in the later slides that how it is a more efficient one. But for now, let's move ahead. And so basically, in Cypress we use JavaScript. And it doesn't mean that one need to be proficient in this language, because I believe a basic understanding of JavaScript is enough to get yourself started with it. And I've personally find Cypress very friendly. So my assertion is like basic understanding is more than enough to start writing your test cases. So this was just a small intro to Cypress. So moving on, why Cypress? The next thing is why Cypress. I mean, why should we opt for Cypress only when there are multiple open source tools present in the market for the same thing, right? So the correct question to be asked here is like how Cypress is unique or different from other test automation tools that we have. So I've quoted this line in the previous slides as well, the fast, easy, and the reliable one. So I mean the people behind the Cypress, they must have solid reasons, to put up a strong statement like this on their official documentation. Like it is fast. They are claiming that it is fast and very much reliable for everything that runs on a browser. So in a nutshell, why Cypress? So they claim. So their claim is that Cypress addresses the main pain points that a QA or a dev may face while testing a web application. So the issues are like the synchronization issues, the flaky or inconsistent output from the same test cases. For example, suppose I have created a test script in Selenium to search something on Google. Let us assume that and when I execute that test script, so the first execution, so it took almost like for say 2 seconds. The second time it took 3 seconds, the third time say 2.5 seconds, and the fourth time it failed. So there can be numerous reasons for the test script to get failed, but the most common one that I have personally experienced as well is like either we have some connectivity issues or the test automation tool that we are using didn't waited long enough to get that web element that we are aiming to interact with to get fully loaded in the DOM. So what Selenium did, like I'm assuming the scenario, like what happened is like uh, while interacting with the browser, we were searching for a specific web element, but still the DOM was not fully loaded. The element was still loading. I mean, like it was not fully visible in the DOM. But what the Selenium did, like it didn't waited long enough for it, and through error, like unable to find the element or unable to interact with the element with the specified web element. So what Cypress claim is that this won't be the case with it. I mean, from my point of view, this reason alone is strong enough, to opt for something better, because we are going to get consistent result from our test cases, right? And throughout the life cycle of the projects, and that is something that we should keep our focus on, right? So what Cypress did, like they came up with an architecture to address these pain points. I'll address these points in the later slides as well, but for now, moving on. Architecture of Cypress. Okay, so to give you an idea, like how Cypress has an upper hand on Selenium or any other test automation tool, I would have to describe the architecture of Selenium first. Then we'll move on to the architecture of Cypress. So we can know the difference between them and know how Cypress is a better option and in what aspect. So I'm going to explain the Selenium architecture first. So if you see the figure here, so we have three things, right? We have Selenium framework, then we have a browser driver, and then we have the browser itself. So in Selenium, what happens is like you write your code, and it is wrapped as a JSON file, which is sent to your browser driver. So browser driver is can be considered as a middleware between your testing framework, I mean like the Selenium framework, and the browser itself. So it basically is a medium of communication between the framework and the browser only. In Selenium, what we have to do is like we have to make an instance of the browser first that we are going to use to make our test. Make an instance of the web browser driver first to make our test executable. And different browser of course have their respective driver as well. And then this browser driver it interprets all our codes and then pass the necessary commands to the actual browser to execute. So what is happening here is like we are not directly interacting with the browser. It is something like a to B and B to C relation. So in this considering this relation, like the framework is communicating with the driver and the driver is communicating with the browser. So as compared to Cypress, Selenium can be considered, I mean like it would not be wrong to say that Cypress has an upper edge on this, because Selenium has a middleware which makes it a bit slow as compared to the Cypress. So this was the overview, just an overview of the architecture of Selenium. So if we compare, comes to the architecture of Cypress, so what Cypress does is like Cypress engine directly operates inside the browser. There is no middleware here. So in another words, like it is the browser itself that is executing your code. So firstly, this architectural difference, the absence of middleware, makes Cypress much lightweighted than the Selenium. And this ability, so since browser is executing your test code, right? So it enables Cypress to listen and modify the browser's behavior at the runtime by manipulating its DOM and HTML properties. So it is something that you don't get in any other test automation tool. So it is very quite explicit to this Cypress only. And
Sparsh, here is the question.
Yeah.
So how come like Cypress is able to communicate with all sort of browsers, right? It can communicate with any type of browser.
Yeah, I was just going to come on that point. So basically, there is Cypress supports a certain number of browsers only. So what Cypress does is like basically scans your system and finds what browser are there on your system, and it has support for Firefox, Chrome, and Electron. Electron is a lightweighted Chromium browser, but it doesn't support Safari or Edge as of now. I mean, like I have seen GitHub issues opened where we are getting problem with dealing with Firefox browser, but other than that, the browser support for Safari and Edge is still under construction.
Okay, all right.
So moving on to the components of Cypress. So basically, Cypress has two main components, which is test runner and Cypress dashboard. So test runner is nothing but an interactive UI platform where Cypress, where we can see the test being executed and see the web application, and where we can see the web application behaving under the test scenarios that we have written. I'll show this in the demo in the later slides as well. And coming on to this Cypress dashboard, so it is something that I find very unique to an automation tool. So it is an optional web-based companion to the test runner. So what is this like? Here on the Cypress dashboard, we can see all the related and the relevant data that needs to be known about our test suite or our test cases. So it basically gives you a powerful insight just at a glance, and we can know all the relevant things that needs to be there, that needs to be known and communicated to the team or the stakeholders. So I'll showcase this in the demo as well. Coming to the installation part, so the prerequisite for Cypress is Node.js only. So since Cypress is a JavaScript test automation tool, right, we would need Node.js. And for those of you who don't know what Node.js is, so basically Cypress is a JavaScript project, right? And to execute our JavaScript code, you first need to have a JavaScript runtime environment, right? So Node.js is nothing but that runtime environment for JavaScript only. And then we would need to have NPM as well. So NPM is Node Package Manager. In simple words, it can be considered as a Maven repository of a Maven project. So basically, you will find all the dependencies that can be used, in a JavaScript project. So installation part, coming to the installation part, I mean, like after having Node.js and NPM in our machines, we can go ahead with the installation. And all you have to do is like create an empty directory, and inside that directory you have to execute this command. So first one is npm -init. So this will create a package.json file in your project. So consider on comparison with the Maven project. So package.json file is something like a pom.xml of a Maven project. It is where you can declare all the dependencies that you are going to use in the project. And then we have npm install Cypress dev. So this command will fetch the latest version of Cypress that can be downloaded and is present on the npm. And if you specify a certain version number of the Cypress that needs to be downloaded, then it can be downloaded as well. And then the last is to open the test. This can be used to open the test runner. This was pretty much simple. And then coming to the part where we need to run the Cypress. So once you have the Cypress runner open by the third command specified in this slide, you will see some changes to your project with respect to your folder structure. You will see a number of folders getting created under the parent folder of Cypress. So the folders are fixtures, integration, plugin, and support. So it is a default, default project structure that Cypress provides on its own, and it does for me, from my point of view, I mean, like it does make our life easier. I'll explain why. So fixtures. So fixtures folder is where we can put all the data files where we can read our test data, or where we can read the data and manipulate them. And the integration folder is where we can keep our test scripts that we are going to use to execute the scenarios that we are planning to execute. And then in plugins folder we have an index.js file in it, whose sole purpose is to manage the plugins. It is self-explanatory. Then comes the support. So any reusable method or any custom-made command that can be defined, can be defined here. And once it is defined here, it can be accessed by whole of the project. I mean, like we don't have to import anything, or we can just call that method or command throughout the scope of the project. And Cypress, recommend us to follow the default structure that it provides. And for example, one may ask why. So let me give you an example. Like suppose we are reading test data from an external file, right? We can simply place that file in the fixture folder, and we can simply call that file by using a dot fixtures method. And as a parameter to that method, we can provide the name of that file. So we don't have to provide the data path. We don't have to provide the path to the file. We just have to simply declare the name of that file that we are going to use. However, what Cypress will do is like it will simply search for that specific file with that specific name into the fixtures folder itself automatically. It won't go anywhere. So it can be considered as a basic template of a structure that we can use in our project here, right? Because however, if we were to replicate the same in Selenium, we would have to give a whole path to the data file. And for me, this is like a beauty of Cypress architecture, right? It does make our life a bit easier. And there are two ways to run our test. So from the test runner, and you can execute your test from the terminal as well. Just you have to use this command with the run keyword with it, and it will run all the test script that we have under the integrations folder. Moving on, Cypress test runner. So I have already mentioned the test runner a couple of times in the previous slides as well. So Cypress runner is nothing but an interactive medium to see our test cases getting executed. It showcases the real-time behavior of the web application subjected to our test, and it has a number of features that that gives a real-time status of the execution. So the image, I hope the image is not that much blurry, but we have something here like we have test status menu. So it shows the summary of the test, like the number of tests that have passed or failed, the time of their execution, etc. Then we have command logs. So it shows all the logs that we get while interacting with the web element, right? So each and every step as well that we have defined in the script will be showcased here. And by hovering on that specific step, if we hover our mouse pointer over it, we can we can see that step getting executed in the app preview section here. So it is basically we can see the real-time behavior of the web applications to our test. Then we have viewport sizing. It is where we can change the resolution of the window as per our need. And we have app preview. I have already defined. So it is where we can see the test being executed. So it is just a simple overview. I'll showcase these in the demo as well. So this was all about the test runner. Now let's see how we can write a test script in Cypress. So firstly, I don't need to mention that we need a IDE to support JavaScript, right? So writing test in Cypress is not a big task, I would say, but to do so, we need to follow at least one JavaScript testing framework that we have, just like for the people who are aware of Selenium and how it works. So in Selenium we have TestNG or JUnit to make our test runnable, right? So in Cypress we have to use something similar. We have to use a similar approach, right? So basically, to make our test runnable in Cypress, we would have to inject our test into a testing framework. Since Cypress runs on JavaScript, we would have to use a JavaScript testing framework, right? So it can be Chai, Jasmine, or Mocha. But according to the official documentation of Cypress, it is recommended to use Mocha with it because it comes bundled with the Cypress library automatically. So when you install Cypress in your project, we don't need to download Mocha separately. It will come bundled with the Cypress libraries. And in the code snippet here, so there are two main keywords. There are multiple commands. So I would if I were to define every command that we use in Cypress, the session would take a lot of time. So I'm just pointing out the key points that needs to be addressed out. So here you can see is we have two keywords basically, describe and sorry uh, sorry describe and it. So both of these keywords come from Mocha only. So if I am to describe them in a simple words, then keyword can be described or maybe can be assumed as a test suite that contains a number of test cases, and each test test case can be defined with the it keyword. So basically, if you are going to write a test suite for the login functionality, then what you can do is like describe login functionality with the describe keyword, and that you have multiple test cases written for it, like invalid you login using invalid credential. That test case can be defined with the it keyword. Yeah, so this was pretty much it that needs to be addressed out for it. Then locators. So locators in front-end testing, I believe, plays a very vital role, because it is through the locators only, right, that the automation tool is able to identify the specific web element that we are aiming to interact with. The automation tool is basically useless without the locator. So it is quite a very crucial thing to know, and it is very much of high importance to create a good locator strategy, so that we can have a consistent test output from our test cases. So in Cypress, some people have an opinion like with respect to locators, Cypress is lagging behind most of the testing tools. So this is because Cypress doesn't provide many options to use in our locator strategy. In Selenium, we have number of locators to choose from, like XPath, CSS locator, and many more. However, Cypress only supports CSS locator, so this is considered to be one of the drawbacks of the Cypress. But however, Cypress has a great parent-child or sibling locator strategy, and it does help in locating the elements efficiently. And till now, I haven't used Cypress in any live project, but till now that I have my experience with Cypress has been great, and I think it is a shortcoming in some specific scenarios only. Otherwise, most of the things can be handled through the CSS locator only. And just one more thing to point out here, like with an help of external plugin, Cypress does provide support for XPath locator as well, but this doesn't come as a default behavior of Cypress. Alright, so Cypress dashboard. So the dashboard service, as I mentioned earlier, is an optional web-based companion to a Cypress test runner. So in simple words, if we were to define it, like one may define it as an overview portal or dashboard which contains almost all the pieces, all the information about our test and its execution. It has an interactive UI based experience that allow us to debug and identify the issue, like test failures or why they have failed, etc. And to access dashboards, firstly we would have to use our Cypress test runner only, and in that Cypress test runner we have a run option. I'll showcase that in the demo, and we can log into the dashboard using our Google account or GitHub account, or using our email ID as well. And dashboard, once integrated with your new project, will showcase showcase a test summary of the tests that have been executed. So anyone having access to that Cypress dashboard of a certain project can have access to all the information about the test. I mean, like, we can classify those things on the basis of their success or failure, the time taken by them, the inconsistent result from their execution, the duration of execution, etc. And on top of these, we also have recorded videos of those test execution. I mean, like, for the failed test, we also have a screenshot of the instance where they have paid, and all this information is available on the Cypress dashboard. So the stakeholder in a live project, say if they have access to this dashboard, right, they can view this information in a single place, and that's the beauty of the Cypress dashboard. Generally, because if we were to replicate this thing in other automation tool, like we generally need to add logic or code to record videos or to take screenshot upon failure. But in Cypress we don't need to concern ourselves with these. Cypress does this works for us. So basically we don't have to if the third party agrees, we can say that we can share the test result on the dashboard itself instead of sharing a HTML report file. But it's up to one what they would opt to. So this is basically a simple screenshot of the dashboard. I'll showcase in the later slide. So coming on to the Cypress over Selenium. So these are the points that I could gather for the positives and the negatives of Cypress over Selenium. So basically, Cypress manipulates the browser itself, and just I've in the previous slide I said that we can have recorded videos and the screenshots, and Cypress waits for before it retries automatically before failing a test to see that the element is there or not for sure. And we can see the test runner panel and the behavior of the web application with our test cases. But the negatives, enough with the positives one that I have iterated through the session. But the negatives that we have is also major, because Cypress is very much new as compared to Selenium. So we don't have a community support that we would get for Selenium, and there is no support for multiple browser tabs. Cypress says that why to use multiple browser tabs, because just execute your test on the single tab, and if you want to execute your test on the another tab, why do so? Just use the same tab. And that's and one more thing, like we have a language constraint, JavaScript only for Cypress. However, Selenium, we can use pretty much anything. So the negatives that I have just told are the positives for Selenium over Cypress. So basically we are not language limited in here. We can use anything that can be run, and Cypress doesn't have support for like Safari and Internet Explorer right now, but Selenium does. But writing test script in Selenium is a bit hard than as compared to Cypress, because we would have to get all the theoretical points sorted out first, because before implementing in Selenium, because it is quite tricky to add weights and something like that in Selenium, which Cypress automatically does on its own. Yeah. So this was all I have for the session. Let me give you a short demo of it, and please ask anything if you need to ask for. So let me open the runner first. So this is a basic Cypress test runner. So here you can see the architecture of the project. So we have Cypress folder, and inside that we have fixtures where are the data files are present, and integrations folder is where I have kept my test scripts. So if I am to execute it through the runner, so this is a sample website that I found on the internet, to execute the test. So what I want to showcase here is, like, if you see here on the checkbox, so here it is like I have given a locator for it. So Cypress recognized it and highlighted it. Then I have clicked on it, so it shows the red button there on the top of the screen. Here shows that it has been clicked, and that then there are some assertions that I have put, and then I have unchecked it. I have clicked it again basically. So and then I have checked out the option 2 and 3 as well. So it shows all the things that can be that have executed here, and where you have clicked, and all the things that needs to be looked into. So this was a simple test runner, but the main thing that I want to showcase is the dashboard. So I have already integrated my test with the Jenkins pipeline. So let me show you. So first about the dashboard. So here is the run option, and it says login to the dashboard. So it will open a screen on your browser where you can log in with your credentials. So like I'm going to use my Google account. And we are logged in. So if I open the dashboard now, so see here you can see that we have 12 test cases here, and let me run it from the pipeline here only. So here you can see like since tests are being executed here, so it has been reflected on the Cypress dashboard as well. So if you see here, you can see that it has started. This error can be ignored because it does not contain any test. And if you click on it, so you will get that this is executed and this has passed. And if you want, you can watch the video of it as well, right? And if suppose the test fails for any reason, then you would get a screenshot option here as well. So the instant that the test has failed, the Cypress will take an automatic screenshot at that point, and we would have obviously we would have the videos for every execution. And anyone having access to this to this dashboard, right? He or she can see all the things that that have been executed over the time and currently being executed. And if you see, if you think we don't have to share the report after every time, right, to the clients or to the stakeholders, they can simply log into this portal, to this dashboard, and can have access to all the information that we have. Yeah, so that was pretty much it that I had for the session. If you have anything to ask, please you can ask.
Hi Sparsh, this is Mithilesh.
Yeah,
I have one more question though. By any chance, because I believe a lot of projects we are using Jira here,
yeah.
and like doing our test plans and execution separately. By any chance, can we integrate it somehow and it can make it like little more useful for the from the Jira perspective?
Yeah, got your point. So about the test management perspective, currently the functionality that we have supports only the pipe and the CLI thing. But if there is a external plugin that can be used with this, so I would have to look into it. But it is a very curious thing. that you have pointed out. So I would have to look into it. Then only I can provide you a
Sure.
solid answer.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Midlesh, for Gaurav this side. Yeah, for your question, I think from Cypress perspective, Cypress is a test automation tool, is a like replacement for Selenium, lightweight replacement, and it's from built on JavaScript ecosystem. And integrating it with Jira, I think it's not possible here as of now because Jira is a test management and project management platform, and Cypress is a test automation tool. So integrating it with the Jira, I don't think like as of now it is possible.
By any chance, some link or somewhere like we can redirect or something like that I'm looking for, so that it will be little handy, when we are on a Jira board and we can just show the test plans and execution, etc. That become like really handy. So I'm just wondering if we have something like that by any chance.
So from the Jenkins plugin, I think we can link the test execution results with the Jira board. So if we can click on the Jenkins results link, then it will redirect us to Jenkins build to showcase all the test results and all the test plan related things. But directly integrating it like as we are looking for from the test management perspective, then I think as of now, and it is not
Okay,
usable and feasible for now.
I see. Okay, sure. Thank you, Gaurav.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So do we have any further questions, everyone?
Yeah, hi Johnny and hi Sparsh.
Yeah, hi, Neeraj.
So what I'm thinking about this is like the framework is not using your machine's browser for running these test cases. What I observed from these videos and your test case execution is opening a separate browser that is based on Node.js.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and that's why it's not supporting other languages because Node.js is purely developed on JS framework. Okay, maybe in future you may see some extension or some support of C++, right? Because there is some extension of C++ that work with Node.js. Okay, so and this would be limited to web functionality because I mean that test runner that you are executing, that is using its own space to execute, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
So it is not using your machine browser. It's using its own environment to execute the test cases.
Yep, that is correct. Got it.
Okay. So yes, and anything related to this framework, if we can integrate it with some, let's say, desktop-based application or any other tool, like I used Robot as well. Do you see any possibility to use it with some other framework?
Currently, I don't think because currently it doesn't even support multiple, cross-browser testing as well, and multiple.
Because based on Node.js, right?
Yeah.
It's not work on SpiderMonkey, right? And even your Edge, that's using a different engine.
Yep.
Okay. And that's the root cause. I mean, that's the main reason. It doesn't support high-end other browsers.
Got it.
Yeah, Neeraj, I think from that perspective, if we talk about, so from the cross-browser perspective, Cypress already supports like Firefox and Chrome. Edge is in beta version, and they are also planning Safari integration. As the tool is like little new in the market, like 5 or 6 years back, and if we compare with other tools, then definitely there is a chance. But from the browser market capitalization, if we talk about, so 90% coverage is like 70 to 80% coverage is related to like Chrome and Firefox. So as soon as it will gradually improve, then from the cross-browser perspective,
maybe you'll see some plugin how to integrate it with this.
Yes, basically, majorly this depend on Cypress. Majorly Cypress depend on plugin supports. And apart from that, like using my machine browser, so there is a configuration in Cypress that we can provide. So it will be redirecting to your browser, machine browser, instead of using internally Electron browser and internally test runner browser.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
So, all right. Any further questions? Anyone?
Thank you, Spurs. I think it was a nice session.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks,
And we'll try to
everyone.
adapt it for our JS framework. We'll try it.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
We will try it for our JS framework.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Sparsh. And this was really a brilliant and excellent session and workshop. And I would request everyone to kindly share the feedback for this session and share your learning experience. We look forward to that. With that, let's look forward to our new week next week with new sessions. So thanks a ton, everyone. And the window to nominate yourself for this session is still open. You can nominate yourself as a coach for the sessions to be held in the month of August and September. So happy learning and have a great day and learning week ahead. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.